Peace and Pan-Africanism, peace and Pan-Africanism. Good Garvey Day, good Garvey Day, good Garvey Day. Peace and Pan-Africanism. Good Garvey Day, good Garvey Day, good Garvey Day. I just wanted to tap in. Because today is my 11th anniversary of taking over the global, not the local, not the national, not the regional, the global Black conscious movement. 11 years ago today, October the 30th. 11 years ago today, October the 30th, I entered Harlem, New York City, National Black Theater, 125th and 5th, and I delivered Post-Traumatic Slavery Disease Part 4, Miseducation of the 21st Century Negro. I came to the National Black Theater with copies of the interview I did in Chicago, the most revolutionary interview ever on the school-to-prison pipeline in the war against Black boys. That was September the 18th, anniversary of Booker T. Washington's Atlanta Cotton Exposition speech. I took copies of the September 18th Chicago interview to the National Black Theater with me in Harlem, which is the anniversary, October 30th, the anniversary, ironically, of when the white power structure found Nat Turner in hiding. October the 30th, 1831, they finally discovered Nat Turner at his hideout. On October the 30th, 2010, the world, the global African community would discover the Prince of Pan-Africanism. It's been 11 long years. We had a lot of ups. We had a lot of downs. But through it all, we have prevailed. Through it all, we saved a lot of children. Through it all, we broke records. We made history. Through it all, we sat down a lot of haters. And I just want to say thank you to the brothers and sisters who stood by me for the past 11 years. Thank you to the brothers and sisters who stood by me the past 11 years. Thank you to the brothers and sisters who knew me before October the 30th. How many of you were rocking with the Prince before October the 30th of 2010? Who've been rocking with the Prince since 2005? Who've been rocking with the Prince since the year 2000 when I first came home from graduate school as the young school psychologist in Philadelphia? I have 21 years of conscious activism, grassroots work, Pan-African liberation. 21 years in the game, but 11 years on the global level. I can't believe it's been 11 years. I still remember going into New York to this very day, not knowing what the Big Apple would think of me, coming to the Mecca of Black consciousness, where Garvey got his start and Malcolm got his start and Stokely got his start, and here I come, another Pan-Africanist. New York, where all the great Pan-Africanists came to. Henry Highland Garnett came through New York. Alexander Crummell came through New York. All of them came through New York. And who else? Alexander Crummell, Henry Highland Garnett, John Brown Russworm from Jamaica, started the first Black newspaper, came through New York. All the Pan-Africanists came through New York. And so me, like they, had to also come through New York. And it's just been great. It's been great. I remember those golden years. I consider 2010 to 2020 the golden years of Black consciousness in the 21st century, in the golden years of my of my journey through Black consciousness also. Yes, indeed. It has been a great journey, a wonderful journey, positive journey. We were selling out events everywhere we went. Like I couldn't miss, brothers and sisters, couldn't miss. I remember when I first went to Africa to speak, and when I first went to the UK to speak, when I first went to South America to speak, when I first went to Jamaica and Bermuda and Bahamas and St. Thomas to speak, not knowing how the brothers and sisters would receive me. And it was all love. All love. And so now we embark on an institution building crusade, which is the Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey Academy. Now we embark on the institution building crusade. I remember when I learned about the St. Paul's College in 2014, learned about the St. Paul's College in 2014, took a fundraiser, did a fundraiser in St. Louis. I was so nervous because I never asked Black people for money before, and I still didn't want to, but I did it anyway. And they gave me a couple $100, which I used to pay for the lawyer to enter a bid for St. Paul's College. I remember that. Then I remember doing the St. Paul's College video. And then I remember the haters. The jealousy started because the same year that we started raising money for St. Paul's, 2014, the next year, 2015, I stopped letting these conscious leeches try to exploit me for personal gain. And when I stopped letting these conscious community leeches, when I stopped letting them exploit me for personal gain, they got mad. And they said, not only is he raising money and we not getting none, he's not even let us use him no more for lecture money. And so when I went independent, I really saw how many people really were not for me. They was just using me financially. But that was a lesson that I had to learn. And then I remember keynoting the Marcus Garvey celebration in 2014, hosted by the Bobo Shanti Rastafari in Fort Lauderdale. And I met a young sister there who said she was a homeschooling mother with a homeschooling organization and wanted me to help. And I agreed to help. Come to find out later, she was an exotic dancer. And she tried to go on a campaign to discredit me. And at first, the campaign wasn't getting no attention because nobody cared about what two consensual adults were doing behind closed doors. So she took it to a whole nother level. She took it to a whole nother level, brothers and sisters. And she started saying that I was using school money to fly her around the country and using school money to take her out and take her on dates. And I was using school money to pay for hotels. So because she didn't get the reaction she wanted from the YouTubian media, she said, I'm going to just say he started stealing money. And they was interviewing this woman every day, all day for months at hand. And not one person ever asked, do you have any proof that he ever spent a penny of the money on you or anything other than FDMG? Do you have any proof that he ever spent a penny of this money on on you or anything other than FDMG? And so they were happy because they thought it was the end of me, because I just cut all them out of exploiting me for conscious money. I was no longer doing conscious lectures for free. I had started to charge because my first 10 years, I never took a penny for any of the lectures that I did. So I cut out the middlemen because they was taking me to lectures and bringing me in and not even let me finish my lecture and let everybody else get on the platform. And then when it's time for me to speak, they telling me I only got 30 minutes when you just gave all my time to somebody I don't even know. So I said, I got to stop this. These Negroes don't care about me or my message. They're just using me to draw the crowd and get paid. So when she started hating, it came at the right time. When she started her assassination campaign, it came at the perfect time for all of the jealous ones in the conscious movement and all of the leeches to try to use this as a platform through which they could destroy me. So that went on for almost a year. I take my second trip to Africa. I started taking my group trip to Africa in 2014, group trip to Africa 2015. And when I came back from my group trip to Africa in 2015, I got a call from the Breakfast Club, Power 105, the Breakfast Club, Charlemagne. They hit me up while I'm going through this whole thing with COINTELPRO and the haters in the conscious community. So the Breakfast Club said, we want you to come on. So I go to the Breakfast Club for the first time, not knowing what to expect. And they threw me an alley-oop in terms of the Breakfast Club interview, the first one that I did, which was 2015. And I caught that alley-oop. I took it around my back. I took that alley-oop under my leg. I double pumped that alley-oop, slammed it in reverse. 5 million views later, it's a classic. The Breakfast Club interview that I did in 2015 was so prophetic. The Breakfast Club interview I did in 2015 was so prophetic and so beneficial because it opened me up. Although I was already the biggest name in Black consciousness globally, I was already the biggest name in Black consciousness. But what the Breakfast Club did was it took me into the homes and hearts of Black people who had not heard me yet. Hip hop community, bougie Black community, social network generation. So all the Black folk who I had not yet been exposed to, even though I was already number one, all the Black folks I had not been exposed to, the Breakfast Club interview would expose me to them. And I say it all the time. I say, before I went to the Breakfast Club, half the people in the airport knew who I was. Before I went to the Breakfast Club, half the people in the airport knew who I was. After the Breakfast Club, everybody in the airport knew who I was. And I was able to instantly see, the impact that the Breakfast Club had with regard to taking Dr. Umar's brand global. And it really set the hate campaign back. It really set the hate campaign back because the Breakfast Club interview brought me millions of new supporters. And so the henchmen in the conscious community, it was nothing they can do. It was like a tidal wave. A tidal wave came and just washed the entire hate campaign away. And it forced the conscious community to understand something that a lot of the YouTubians don't understand right now. It forced the conscious community to understand something that many of the anti-Ifa Tunde YouTubians don't understand right now. And that is Dr. Umar has transcended the Black